Here we go. Ramses 16. Looks like he's beaten me once. Let's see. Oh, it's time for a knight of 3. Okay, we'll continue with this Reti setup. I'll slow down the advance of the pawn, d3. So I'm going to have some kind of reverse Sicilian. So it's starting to look more like an English. We'll see how the opening book classifies this, but I'm going to get this fianchetto in. Yeah, he played all of that really quickly. Well, the exchange here eliminated one of the ideas, which is to push the b pawn to open up this diagonal. Let's look for another idea here. This knight here, what is it doing on what is it doing on e7 there? It's going to come out to g6, I guess. Oh, maybe staying out of the way of a f5 pawn push. How about I just take over the center here? You know, I have this c pawn already guarding the d4 square, so we can't hop a knight in there. I can't easily get my knight to d5 either, but if we clog up the center, then I don't have to worry so much about a kingside attack, I don't think. Looks like Ramesses is pausing to think here. Oh, no, he's moved. Yeah, moved the b pawn. Well, he's going to put the bishop here, I guess. Looking at this, maybe move the knight out of the way and push the c and d pawns forward to bust up the center. Could happen. Yeah, let's go ahead and get castled. Let's see if he wants to launch that attack with f5. Now he wants to pin the knight. So let's kick the bishop. Okay, he wants to trade off my knight. So we got 2 bishops versus 2 knights. Usually considered to be pretty good for white, to give white the bishop pair like that. So bishop to g4 here pins the knight, but I guess he will just play g5. I guess he will just play f6. Okay, I'm going to step my queen out of the way, and I'm going to push the f-pawn forward here. Need to open up some lines to activate my bishops. And since my queenside pawns are a bit hobbled, so he goes first. That's all right, though. I can still play f4, keep him from playing f4 himself. So we can trade here. Yeah, and that brings my pieces forward, gets the bishop off the back rank. Also taking with the pawn might have been interesting there too. So now let's just drop back to this square. Maybe it should go to d4 there, looking at the king side. Okay, and I want to keep these pawns together, so I'm definitely taking with the piece there. And he's bringing his knight into the center. Let's get my king off the back rank there and add a little protection to these pawns. So I can kick this knight away because my queen is defending the c-pawn after I play d5. He can't go here or here. I guess he will just go back. Can't go here because the bishop will take it, so he will go back to f7 or d7. And I do have this check along this diagonal anytime I want it. Yeah, that might be useful because when this knight moves away, this bishop is loose, but being able to move with check makes it easier. And then I should probably unpin this bishop as well, maybe by bringing a rook over. Centralizing a rook as a way of unpinning this bishop. I think I like that idea. Well, he's taken a long time on this move. There are not too many choices here. I don't think he can play something other than moving the knight because yeah, he just doesn't have any good tempo moves that threaten. I mean, he has a knight move that attacks my queen, but that's just losing material. Yeah, so let's go for the check right away here. Yeah, maybe he was suspicious and thought maybe there was a tactic there, so he was. Then let's bring the rook over opposite his queen. So, king is on a dark square, but I don't have an immediate way to exploit that. Your bishop here looks interesting. It keeps control of the D or E8 square, so you can't put a rook there. Which means I'll have an easier time controlling controlling the D file. Then maybe I will move my queen out of the way so I can move the bishop without having to calculate the queen trade. Queen to D3 to keep his knight out of this square. Out of the E4 square. If he plays knight E4 now, I guess I will go queen E3 anyway. He is controlling the squares in front of his king with those knights, so they're pretty good defensive pieces here. So, yeah, go here. Set up a discovered attack on his queen. I'm not quite sure where where to put these pieces, actually. I want to bring my queen out on the king side, but I couldn't figure out a way to get it there. Maybe out to F5. Queen to F5. F5 and G5 are both available, huh? Okay, so he doubles on the F file, which is interesting. I have this rook adequately protected there, so there's no fear, right? If this knight were gone, he takes, I take, he takes, and my queen takes. So I have that F1 point adequately defended. But let's pin that knight. Well, now I can see a good point with the queen here on D3. It's hitting this knight, so if he plays H6, his knight is loose. And for the moment, at least, he has to move his queen. I think there's only one queen move. Is that right? Queen back to E8. D8. Queen back to D8. There it is. So what now? It all looks very nice. Looks like I control the board, but how do I break through? Bishop takes knight. Rook takes, rook takes, rook takes. Doesn't seem to lead to a whole lot. I could bring the other bishop in. Yeah. Take advantage of the pin. If knight takes bishop, I'll take the queen. So that'll be two pieces. Two pieces for the queen, because he can get both bishops. But now I'm actually threatening just to take twice on G6, right? Bishop takes knight, pawn takes, queen takes. And h6, bishop takes, pawn takes bishop, bishop takes rook. Yeah, so that queen d3 move turned out to be better than I realized. So I was going with check. Oh, that's an interesting idea. So I take the knight, and he takes my bishop. Okay, yeah, my bishop was unprotected there. I did not allow for that. So yeah, if I just move my king, he's going to take my bishop anyway. Pawn takes. He could throw in rook takes rook, rook takes rook, queen takes, and then queen takes here. Well, that move wasn't so great then, I guess. But I didn't see, it seems like moving my king was worse, so got to take the knight. And the queen even defends, the queen even defends his knight. Here, let's do this. No, first do this. Exchange rooks to pull his rook off the back rank. And then I'm going to take the knight. So that's a tempo move that opens up the e-file. That might be winning. that looks very winnish. Okay, so maybe this was all right after all, although this tactic I had to discover it after the fact. So bishop takes knight is winning, right? Because if he takes back, I just bring my rook here, and that's mate. And if he doesn't take back, he can drop his rook back. I can drop my bishop back, and I don't see anything for him. So it looks like my amassed forces and my control of the e-file came through for me after all. Oh, it's not mate. He takes with the pawn. My, oh my. So this is still going on. This game is continuing. Well, okay, it's probably good to take the back rank in any case. Check. The king is coming forward. Now, after that, this is hanging. And he's got a check here if I move the queen away. I think that's all right, though. I'm thinking he's got rook check here. I'm thinking I bring my queen to I check and bring my queen to e4 to protect this pawn and to threaten to come down to the back rank. But then he's got pieces to the second rank. So, oh, queen to e2 then, right? So I check. Well, there's only one move here. I don't know why. Why is he thinking? And queen to e2. That was what I had spotted. I keep control of the second rank, hopefully, and control this pawn. I can sack the rook and get a rook back with rook here check, queen here check, and take the rook. But that's just, that would just be even. That would just be a draw. And maybe this is a draw too. So he goes to the back rank. So he wants to get to this square. Let's see. Oh, he's attacking this pawn too. A little bit frisky there, so I could check, take rook, and it's his move, and then he can just start giving checks and taking things. So I want to get to I want to get to this I want to get to the H file here without giving him any counterplay. How do I do that? I don't see it. A tough position. Now I see something. I could push the pawn forward to g4 now, with this rook blocking the queen's view of the g4 square. And then use that opening on the fourth rank there to get a piece over to the H file. He could play g4 first. Although that might open up some other problems. We'll see. Yeah, okay, let's go with this g4 idea. So his queen is maneuvering around to come back and defend. But now I can swing my rook over to the H file. That was not helpful. Maybe he was calculating that he could bring his rook back to defend if I check on the back rank, but this diagonal check here, the king comes forward and I check on h8, is mate, so he has to bring his rook back. Maybe it's not fatal. Once again, I can sacrifice my rook to win his rook. Can pile up on the pinned piece like this. Maybe this is it, and then I have to suffer the checks until I get a chance to break through. He turned this into a tense game. I thought I was just winning. Well, the bishop on g4 was vulnerable. I did not, g5, and I didn't take that into account. So I'm hoping there's no more checks here. And no easy way for him to defend. It's just check and mate with the queen and the rook. Queen takes rook check, rook here mate. And he just ran out of time, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I was winning. Anyway, interesting game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.